Hello, my most amazing artists. Today we're going to be learning about Henri Matisse. Henri Matisse is a famous artist who's known for his drawing with scissors. In other words, he used scissors to cut out shapes for his art, but it wasn't always that way. Let's find out a little bit more about Henri Matisse. He was born in France, and his father wanted him to become a lawyer. So Henri worked in a law office for a while, but he was kind of bored. He used to draw flowers and pictures on his papers. When he was 20, he got sick and he had to stay in bed for a very long time. His mother gave him a set of paints to pass the time, and this was it for Henri. From then on, he knew he wanted to be a painter. This is what Henri Matisse was painting when he was early in his career. You can see it's very realistic. But this is one of Henri Matisse's last pictures and much more abstract. He made this picture when he was 83 years old, and it's made from paper cutouts. It's kind of hard to tell what it's supposed to be until you see the title. The title of this art piece is It's a Snail. So you can kind of see there's a picture of the shell and the body of the snail with all those bright colors. And we're going to use this as our inspiration today. So here's what you'll need for your project: glue, scissors, some plain paper, some colored paper. I even have a few small scraps, crayons or markers. And if you want a little bit of white paint, certainly can make this magical. All right, today we're going to be creating Matisse-inspired winter trees. So to begin with, we need to make a winter tree. So let's start by just drawing a tree with your crayon. And we're going to start right at the top. Nice diagonal line. Another diagonal line on the other side. Right across the bottom, make a nice triangle. And for the tree's trunk, we're just going to make a rectangle shape. Now that you have your shape, you need to take out your scissors and cut. Let's see how well you can stay right along those lines, turning the paper when you need to, and making sure that you have your shape cut out nicely and carefully. Now, I don't want to see the side with all of these black lines on my final piece, so I'm actually going to be flipping it over. Onto what, you might ask? Well, you can choose some colorful paper as your background. You can choose any color you want. I have a red one here, a green one. I might use the red today. So let's put some glue right where you see the lines, just around the edge. Remember, that's only where you need the glue. And then you massage it so it sticks to your paper. So now I have my winter tree and I have my background. Let's talk about how we're going to do some drawing with scissors, just like Henri Matisse. So if you look at some of these colors, they're bright, bold colors, and there's lots of shapes. I see rectangles, I see some square shapes, some small pieces, some that even look like they might have been ripped. That's okay. Let's see if we can create something similar for our tree. So I have lots of these scrap papers, and I'm just going to cut a variety of shapes out of some paper that I have handy. So some might be rectangles, some might be square, all sorts of different shapes. And I'm going to make as many as I can to fill up my space. And they can even what we call overlap. Overlap is when you have one shape on top of or partially covering another, and that's okay too. So I might even use some yellow. If you wanted to add a special shape to the top of your tree, you could do that too. Remember, this is your art, so I am anxious to see what you will do. Here's another shape at the top. I'm trying to make sure I cover all of that space, so there's just a little bit poking through, but not too much. So I might have some blue here. So I'm just using some scraps I have handy, and scraps are kind of fun to play with. So once you have your tree, you could even make several more just with using some scraps. Okay, once you have your arrangement in place, use your glue stick and glue everything down. Once it's glued down, you can then think about adding some snow. Now there's a couple of ways you can add snow to your picture. You can add snow with a white crayon and just color in little circles like we have done before. Or if you have access to paint and you want to get a little fun and creative, make sure you have a covered surface, a paintbrush, any kind of paintbrush is fine, and some paint. Now I like to just get a little bit on the brush, and then I take my finger and tap, and look at that magical snow falling on my paper and on my winter tree. So that is a way that you can make a winter tree inspired by the artist Henry Matisse.